Hey, BioTubers. This is going to be a hopefully brief review on my opinion of. Well, basically, I'm going to tell you my favorite years of Bionicle. I was going to do a review on Bionicle as a whole, the whole decade of Bionicle, but it was like a 20-minute video and it was getting pretty boring. So, I'm going to just settle with my favorite years and one year that I absolutely hated. Anyway, first off, for those of you who are just watching my stuff, I'm wearing this whole get-up here because I like being anonymous. I don't like people seeing my face. It's a long story. I'm not going to bore you with it. Anyway, so let's get started with this. I've brought some stuff to sort of emphasize my favorite years, and first we're going to start from the beginning, 2001. I like this year because, for one thing, they don't have these anymore. It's like a classic. And, there's a sort of attraction of the simple action figure. They were just getting started and all that sort of stuff. He's not as the 2001 characters weren't as complex as, the ones from 2009 and all that, but they still had a kind of attraction. You turn the knob and they do this, and it was pretty cool, yeah, so, and the story itself, it wasn't that serious. It was, it was a scavenger hunt. We're going to go and find masks of power and save the day and yay, so it wasn't that whole, we lose this battle, the world ends. It wasn't that serious. So yeah, the story was pretty good. And the action figures were kind of cool, especially a lot of the pictures. You look at some of the older pictures online and there's some pretty cool pictures. So 2001 is one of my favorite years just because, it's a team of people looking for cool stuff and fighting Rahi and all that. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty nifty. However, I did not get into Bionicle from 2001 or 2002. But anyway, this is just about my favorite years. 2002, Year of the Borak. That was pretty cool. You gotta love the Borak. The whole, you turn the knob and he jabs his head forward and all that. And I love the Krana. I love it. I kind of hated that Bionicle didn't stick with the whole, the bad guys have a weird gooey thing on a part of their body, It was kind of cool with that. It definitely made them unique. And the Borak, those were pretty cool. I saw a Borak commercial. It was for the Borak cowl. And it was pretty cool, I mean, they show these guys that roll up into balls, and all of a sudden, boom, they're a character, and they're destroying stuff with their heads, I thought that was pretty cool. But, yeah, the story for 2002, it was alright, it was definitely a different thing. It was still a scavenger hunt, but with the added thing of an invasion. So that was pretty cool. As a matter of fact, when you think about it, there was a scavenger hunt throughout all the years of Bionicle. There were only like a couple of years that aren't scavenger hunt themed. However, my favorite year, my number one favorite year, would have to be 2003. Okay, there was so much happening in 2003. It was a completely different quest. This was the 2003 with the storyline. It was totally, we lose this battle, everybody gets enslaved. That's when the whole story got more serious. It was very interesting, and there were a lot of Titans. I didn't get a lot of the, these action figures. I got more of the Titans. I had Makuta, I had Takanuva with his vehicle, I had the Usul Crab, and all that. Most of them have been taken apart. But still, I think 2003 was really cool because, it was the classic Bionicle stuff, but I don't know. I just really liked it. I really liked it. And, that was the year that I got into Bionicle. Okay, this was my first set. Okay, Gurak. All right, I saw this guy on the shelves and thought, he's pretty cool. I take him home and I'm like, 7. And I take this guy home and it's awesome. He has a worm in his back and he does this when you turn the knob. I mean, for a little kid, that's like freaking awesome. And I still think it's kind of cool, I don't know what it is about 2003, but I really love 2003. I think 2003 was really cool. Anyway, So another big thing about 2003 was the movie. You know, the movie came out, and that was a big deal for Bionicle. You know, when you think about it, the Bionicle movie was the first Lego movie. Alright? That was pretty cool. But anyway, moving on. So we talked about 2003. My number one favorite year. Another one of my favorite years would have to be 2008. And that's just because, you know, there were a bunch of vehicles and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, I guess I really like the years with the Toa Nuva. I don't know why. I just do. But yeah, I mean, 2008, it was really cool. Everybody was flying around and stuff. And, yeah, I mean, and 2003 was really a mystery, you know, when you think about it. You know, the Toa got to Cardanui, and you don't really know what's going on. You know, there's the Mask of Life, but he's already a character. So they aren't looking for the Mask of Life. And they're doing the usual routine of fighting the bad guys, which is what they've been doing for the last 7 years. So what were they really doing in Cardanui? So I think the beginning of 2008 was really interesting just because there was mystery behind it. It wasn't just, from the start we're looking for the Mask of Life, or from the start we're looking for the Great Kanokadis. You know, you didn't know what was happening from the start. You had to stick around to see what was happening, and I think that was really cool with 2008. Also, in my opinion, if I were to end 2008, or if I were to end Bionicle, it would be in 2008. Because when you think about it, you know, if Bionicle were to end in 2008, it would have ended with a bang, and it would have ended smoothly. Okay? I mean, I can tell you what happened. You know, the Toa Nuva pretty much blew up Cardanui, and, you know, everything was peaceful. The Great Spirit was healthy and alive and all that. And, you know, then the giant robot got in the picture, and, you know, so, I mean, the giant robot really destroyed the Bionicle story. It really took away a lot of the mysticism and mystery of Bionicle. I think the giant robot was total crap. You know, I mean, it didn't even make sense. All these little people living in a gigantic robot, and all the islands were in the robot. It made no sense whatsoever. So the giant robot did nothing to help the Bionicle story. It really sucked. So yeah, I think Bionicle should have ended in 2008 just because it would have been so much smoother, and it just would have been better altogether. So yeah, 2001 through 2004 actually. I completely skipped a year. I'm so sorry. You can tell I'm not a professional review guy. But yeah, I like from 2001 to 2004 and then 2008. Those are my favorite years. The reason I like 2004 is, you know, you look at them and they're pretty cool. This is my first Toametru. Nuju, he's my favorite Toametru character. You know, because they really look cool. If you look at the armor and the weapons and just his posture, it's so much different from, you know, it's so much different. It's probably because he has knees. You know, he has bendable limbs, unlike the 2001 through 2003 characters. That actually, 2004 was the first year. Well, no, actually, it was 2003. But 2004 was when the bendable limbs were continuing. So yeah, I think they just looked really cool. And you got to admit, the Vaku were pretty cool too. Those came later in the year, and once I saw them, I just had to have them. They were too cool. So yeah, in the 2004 storyline, it was pretty cool. You know, it was definitely different. You know, originally it was just, you know, a bunch of robots out in the country doing their thing out in the wild, and all of a sudden it's a city. You know, we have a city in the storyline. So I think that was really cool. Yeah. So another thing I like about 2001 through 2003, not 4, but 3, were the comics. I have the first edition of Bionicle here, which I got from a thrift store for an insanely cheap price. I'm going to try to be quick. What I love about these comics is like the grit and the shiny. It's like, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks almost like he's dirty. You know, he has a bit of like dirt around him, but then he has all these shiny spots here. And it's a total contrast. It's so interesting. And the detail. My gosh, I love the detail. Look at that. the detail is wonderful. It's sharp. It's easy to follow. I mean, it's so wonderful. I really love the old comics. The old comics were definitely the best in my opinion. The 2006 and 2007 comics, I hated them. They were horrible to me, you know? I mean, it's like, look at that. Look at that. It looked like something a child could draw. Well, you know, maybe a very talented child, but you know, the comics themselves I don't think looked that good, but they were still very bad to me. So, I definitely think that this beats the living crap out of the 2006 and 2007 comics. So yeah. Yeah. So that's why I loved 2001 through 3. I think that's the reason why I like those years, is because the comics were so good to me. Just the artwork and how they were done and all that. It had so much detail. It was wonderful. Now we have gathered. Now we have talked about, or I have talked about, my favorite years of Bionicle. Now I need to get to my worst year, which I mentioned in the beginning, which was undoubtedly the infamous 2010, which is more of a month of Bionicle than a year. They sold 6 little Matoran sets, the stupid Bionicle stars. And while I've looked it up on the internet, and you know, we have fun making, Paraka stars and Toametru stars, you know, but seriously? 6 of these guys, and that's it? It was horrible. That's why I hate the way Bionicle ended. Was because it didn't end with a smooth bang. If it ended in 2008, everything would have made sense. Yes, there were many questions. What is the Great Spirit Matanui and all that sort of stuff? There still would have been those questions, but it would have been a smooth ending. Just a smooth ending, nothing else. 2010, 2009 and 2010, they were forced. And 2010 was a total joke. So yeah, I think that compared to 2010, 2008 would have been so much of a better ending. Now, I'm sure I have bored you all to death talking about what I like. So I'm going to end the video. I hope you enjoyed watching, at least. I thank you for watching. And please subscribe. And also, check out Toa Steve. I do not recall his channel. I have a hard time remembering channels. I always remember names, but not channels. But anyway, I think one of his movies, actually, it's a movie in 2 parts, but it's called Bionicle Rise, I believe. It's really good. It's really good. You ought to check it out. You got to check him out and the videos. It's really good. So again, thank you for watching. Subscribe. Bye-bye.